Have you ever had unforgiveness towards somebody? Have you ever had an unresolved bitterness that probably led to hatred or anger or even a retaliation towards a person because you just never bothered to, take things out of the carpet that you swept under the carpet for ages, right? And in the end, it caused you to just be this really violent person on the inside that you acted out, right? Or you may not be the violent person, but you just have this disrupted view of that person. And that person might be someone else, or it could be yourself, right? Do you have some self-hatred, self-condemnation? And I want to talk to you today about how unforgiveness is the first major block of healing, block to healing, when dealing with chronic diseases. Now, you would have heard from my previous videos about this fantastic model of 3 pillars of health, and it's not my model, it is how God designed you to function. For you to have health and disease, there are certain conditions that you have to fulfill. And the first condition to fulfill is really having a healthy relationship. So when that's healthy, okay, I'm just going to use a red marker here. When that's healthy, okay, guess what? I'm just going to put a plus sign because it adds to it. Anything that's healthy adds to it. Anything that's unhealthy takes away from it, right? If you add to a healthy mindset, guess what? It healthily adds to your health. And guess what? You actually don't have disease, but you end up having health, right? Now, like I mentioned before, also in my previous videos about God's first intent was us to live this way. But how many of you guys know that not all of us are perfect? In fact, all of us are not perfect. The only perfect one is God. And that's why He created us and He given us a template. And I want to say to you today, and I want to challenge you and submit to you that your answer to your health problem is not going to be in doctors. It's not going to be in the latest science, although those are helpful, those are really good, and I believe those are well ordained or well structured in a way that we can fit that into achieving health as God intended. But understand this, that the law of how you and I were designed, regardless of race, language, or religion, okay, so we're not playing religion here, talking about a God debate, stuff like that, none of that stuff, right? Our God was the creator, and the God who created us has given us a template. So can I say to you that if you're not living in 100% health, which is what God first intended for all of us to live in, and you are battling some kind of chronic pain or disease, that God's intent for you is to go back to this template so that you and I can achieve 100% healing. And that is His second intent, that if you're not living in 100% health, that you follow this template so that you and I can live in abundance, the abundant life that we're all called to live as God's children, okay? Now, so I'm just gonna really talk to you real quick about unforgiveness, because unforgiveness is the first major block to healing. It is viral, okay? And I know some of you guys go like, oh, this is all counseling, this is psychology. I'm just gonna prove to you the science behind it, okay? Now, scientific research has shown that for your body to heal, your brain needs to create new memories. Why? Because chronic stuff that people heal from will actually inevitably affect your emotional centers. That's why you have people who go mentally off, right, when they're battling a disease for a long time, or they could be, having a chronic pain, and all of a sudden this anxiety comes, right? Like in my clinic, we teach a lot about healthy movement and how in your brain, if you are thinking like you got anxiety from some ruined relationship or some unhealthy mindsets that came out of that relationship, then what happens is that healthy movement actually reduces your anxiety, and that helps to promote health. But if the primary source of anxiety actually came from an unhealthy mindset, then guess what? Not only must I help you move healthily as God intended, but I gotta go to the preceding step and have you figure out the specific mindset that came from the specific relationships that was the problem. Now, when we work through with a patient, right, we have hundreds of them who actually are so well postured and positioned for healing right now because they are taking on this approach and they're accepting this is how they were designed. Guess what? Anytime unforgiveness comes in, immediately it makes this negative. It makes this negative. Why? Unforgiveness ruins relationships. Unforgiveness literally ruins relationship, whether it's with yourself or with others or with God. The moment you have an unforgiveness, that means an unresolved bitterness. So let's get this straightened out here. The definition of unforgiveness is unresolved bitterness. Unforgiveness doesn't just enter your life just because it wants to, right? It always starts with a bit of bitterness, right? Someone did something, someone did you wrong, someone slandered you, someone slammed you with an accusation, someone did something bad to you, right? And there goes that bitterness that starts to rise up. But guess what? If you resolve it at that same time or shortly after, guess what? It doesn't have a chance to become unforgiveness. But when you actually don't resolve the bitterness and it becomes unforgiveness, this is where scientifically it's been proven in neuroscience, which is the area that I deal with. It actually has been proven that unforgiveness prevents the formation of new memories in your hippocampus. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Actually, it's not, because it's actually the law, the template that we were designed for. And unforgiveness has been, like I said, unforgiveness or unresolved bitterness has been scientifically proven to prevent you from having healthy relationships, that will prevent you from having healthy mindsets, and will then prevent you from having good health. Now, I applaud your doctor. I applaud the fitness trainer that you go for. I am a personalized trainer myself. We do personal coaching through healthy movement, stuff like that. So I honor all these people that are helping you achieve health, okay? But can I submit to you that if you have an unforgiveness or an unresolved bitterness, that is gonna drive your mind eventually to become negative, okay? Maybe you are really hard on yourself. You have self-unforgiveness maybe because you failed before, and maybe you started the business, right? Business is tough, first-hand experience, right? And then you start to go, okay, I'm not cut out for this. I'm now going back into the corporate world, right? To start to just get a salary and stuff. And then you start becoming really fearful of stepping out, like you're not risk-taking anymore. You become risk averse, stuff like that. And then you start to have this unforgiveness, self-loathing, self-condemnation view of yourself. And guess what? That unforgiveness actually leads to an unhealthy mindset. And it can cause diseases like allergies, eczema. If there's some kind of abandonment issues, it can cause asthma. And I know that would trigger some of you guys in terms of the neural pathways to that. We'll get into all that in the weeks to come. But understand this, guys, that if you're sitting there today and you are going, I want to get my health better, and you got some unforgiveness, can I challenge you, whoever you're talking to, whoever is your mentor, and I know in Singapore, having mentors or people to help you, to be accountable to them, or just to speak to someone about it, right? Understand this, that life was never meant to be done alone. So don't matter your religion, don't matter your language or race. If you have a friend that you need to speak to an unforgiveness in your life about, please take the step of faith to do it. Don't procrastinate, because the more you procrastinate, the unforgiveness gets larger, especially at the mere mention of his name, her name, or you see him at the sight of him or her, and you start to have this, emotions that start to get invoked within you, and you start to get angry, and you start to condemn yourself again and stuff like that. Guess what? That's gonna it's a self-perpetuating cycle that you will find very hard to get out of if you choose to keep that unforgiveness or that unresolved bitterness. So I submit to you today that this is the reason why you are probably not achieving health, because in your brain, the way you were designed for is that unforgiveness is a major block to memory formation, which is the number one thing that your body needs to heal. Okay, so keep it up with getting your body healed. Keep it up with getting fitter. Keep it up with the diet. Keep it up with all the stuff that you do in the name of health in the body. But can I submit to you once more that your life is more than just being healthy. Your life is dependent on how your relationships with others, with self and God, thrive. And that's primarily what we do here in the clinic. So if you're looking for a consultation, that's how we actually help people. But I want to help you guys just understand that this is the law. This is the law of creation. This is how you were designed. So don't let this template fool you, or don't let this template work against you just because you choose to not fulfill its conditions. Okay, so I hope this blesses you. Please, if you like this content and you love to hear more, I would love to be able to have an automated notification sent to you so that you will get a video every time I post one up. And please comment, subscribe. I love to engage in meaningful conversations. So if that's you, please comment, like, subscribe. We want to get this out to as many people as possible so that every single person can create health because they know exactly how they were designed for. Okay, I bless you and I thank you. See you in the next video.